The biggest mistake most men make when trying to attract women is that they beg for affection. It's not about constantly seeking approval or validation. It's about being the type of man who naturally inspires desire. Women aren't attracted to neediness. They're attracted to confidence, strength, and emotional control. When you act from a place of scarcity, constantly seeking affection, you project weakness. This is a turnoff. But when you act from a place of abundance, focusing on your own growth and confidence, women feel drawn to your energy. So, stop begging for affection. Instead, focus on becoming a man who doesn't need approval to feel secure, and watch how your attraction grows naturally. A common misconception in dating is that being nice and respectful will make women fall for you. While respect is essential, the key to attraction is not about being overly polite or trying to win their approval at every step. Most men approach dating from a mindset of scarcity, thinking that if they are overly respectful and accommodating, they will eventually earn affection. However, this mindset only puts you in the friend zone and strips away any mystery or excitement. Women are attracted to men who have boundaries, who don't apologize for desiring affection, and who show confidence without needing external validation. Women do not reject intimacy. They reject men who lack clarity and confidence. A man who begs or pleads for affection often comes across as insecure. Women can sense this energy, and it repels them. On the other hand, a man who initiates intimacy with confidence, knowing his own worth, naturally triggers desire in a woman. Women want to feel desired, but they want to feel that desire from a man who understands his own value. The most important lesson here is that women are attracted to men who don't need to chase them. They lead with their presence, their clarity, and their strength. It's important to understand that women's desires are not something you can earn by being nice or polite. They are provoked by your actions, energy, and mindset. This is where psychology comes into play. Women are attracted to men who are emotionally stable, who don't get rattled by rejection, and who can hold their own in the face of challenges. The key is to build a foundation of self-worth that doesn't depend on her approval. When you stop chasing her affection and focus on cultivating your own sense of self, you'll naturally attract her desire. One of the biggest mistakes men make is waiting for the perfect moment to initiate intimacy. Women often know within the first few moments if they are attracted to a man. If you spend weeks or months waiting for the right moment, you're missing out on a vital opportunity to connect. Women don't want to feel like they are being convinced to be intimate with you. They want to feel the energy of desire from you. The moment you make your move with clarity, confidence, and purpose, she will feel that energy and respond in kind. The key to generating desire in a woman is to lead the situation. Most men wait for a woman to give them signals or to make the first move. But this passive approach kills attraction. Women want a man who takes initiative, who leads the way without hesitation. When you approach intimacy with confidence and without asking for permission, it ignites the spark of desire. It's not about being aggressive, but about being clear, decisive, and emotionally grounded. Women are turned on by men who know what they want and act on it with confidence. Women aren't looking for someone to please them or to beg for their affection. They're looking for a man who can evoke desire through his masculinity, presence, and ability to lead. When you stop begging for affection and focus on becoming the man who is secure in his own desires, women will naturally be drawn to you. Attraction is about presence, not effort. Stop trying to prove your worth and start embodying it through your actions and your energy. The idea of being nice or waiting for the right moment to show affection only leads to frustration. When a man tries too hard to win a woman's affection, it becomes a chore for her. Instead of trying to impress her, focus on being the best version of yourself. A woman will be attracted to you when she senses that you are emotionally independent, self-confident, and not afraid to take the lead. The more you focus on your personal growth and inner strength, the more naturally attraction will come. The Stoic mindset teaches us that our worth doesn't depend on external validation. By embracing this, we can stop begging for affection. When you live your life with purpose, focus on your goals, and develop emotional resilience, women will be drawn to you, not because you're chasing them, but because you're embodying the qualities they desire. They will admire your self-assurance, and in return, they will feel desire. This doesn't come from begging for affection, but from becoming the type of man who doesn't need it to. In conclusion, women don't reject intimacy. They reject the neediness, insecurity, and lack of direction that many men bring into relationships. To naturally attract women, you need to stop begging for affection and start focusing on becoming the man who is desirable without needing approval. Cultivate your own self-worth, take the initiative, and lead with confidence. When you stop chasing affection and start embodying your own masculinity, you'll find that women will be drawn to you not because you begged, but because you naturally provoked desire in them. One of the most important lessons when it comes to attracting women is realizing that neediness is one of the biggest turn-offs. Men often think that showing vulnerability or asking for affection will make them more attractive, but the truth is that it only makes them appear desperate. Women are naturally drawn to men who exude confidence and strength. These men know what they want, and they go after it without hesitation. The key is to be emotionally secure and not dependent on her approval or affection. When you stop seeking validation, you naturally become more attractive. A major shift that needs to occur is understanding that desire is not something you can demand. You cannot beg for affection and expect it to come naturally. Instead, you must provoke it by showing confidence and mastery over your emotions. Women feel a strong attraction toward men who display emotional control, who can handle rejection, and who don't allow setbacks to break their sense of self. When you control your emotions and remain grounded, women begin to feel drawn to you. It's not about asking for sex or intimacy. It's about showing that you're worthy of it through your actions and presence. Another crucial point is that women appreciate assertiveness. When you are too passive, waiting for the perfect moment or for her to make the first move, you lose her interest. Women are not looking for a man who follows her lead all the time. They want a man who takes initiative. This does not mean being aggressive or forceful, but rather being clear and direct about what you want. Women feel safe and attracted to men who can confidently express their desires without apology, which in turn makes them want to pursue you. The power of body language can never be underestimated. It's the first thing people notice, and it speaks volumes. When you're trying to attract a woman, your body language should exude confidence, strength, and assertiveness. Keep your posture upright, make eye contact, and avoid unnecessary fidgeting. Women are extremely sensitive to energy, and they can often tell whether a man is secure in himself or if he's trying to hide his insecurities. If your body language communicates self-assurance and presence, it will naturally attract women. The truth is, women are attracted to men who make them feel something, not just physically, but emotionally as well. When you are confident, assertive, and clear about your desires, you create emotional tension that ignites her attraction. This is why it's crucial not to wait for her to take the lead or to beg for attention. Women want to feel desired, but they also want to feel that their desires are matched by a man who can act on them without hesitation. Your job is to make her feel that tension, and in doing so, you'll trigger her natural desire. Let's be clear, being nice does not create desire. While being kind and respectful are important qualities, they don't spark attraction. Attraction is emotional and primal. Women are biologically hardwired to be drawn to strength, certainty, and clarity. Being nice without taking any action will get you into the friend zone. If you truly want to spark desire, you need to act with confidence and purpose. Stop overthinking and start leading the situation. The more decisively you take control, the more she will respect and desire you. Taking responsibility for your life, your choices, and your emotions is another key principle. When you constantly rely on others, especially women, to fulfill your emotional needs, you come off as weak. Women are repelled by men who depend on them to make them feel good about themselves. Instead, be the man who has his own life, his own passions, and his own purpose. A man who is self-sufficient and emotionally strong naturally attracts women. They can sense your independence and are drawn to it because it shows that you don't need them to complete you. You are already whole. You also need to understand that emotional strength is key. The most attractive men are the ones who can handle themselves emotionally in difficult situations. Whether you're facing rejection, frustration, or challenges in life, women admire a man who can handle stress without breaking down. The ability to stay calm under pressure is a hallmark of masculine energy. A stoic man remains steady no matter what, and this quality is incredibly attractive. Emotional resilience is the ability to not let life's challenges affect your sense of self or your desires. Another important point is the idea of mystery and intrigue. Women are attracted to men who are not completely predictable. If you're always available, always at her beck and call, she'll lose interest because she'll already know what to expect from you. Instead, make yourself a bit elusive. Give her space to miss you. Make her wonder about you. This doesn't mean playing games, but creating an environment where she has to pursue you. Women enjoy the challenge and excitement of someone who is not easily available. This is where having a life outside of the relationship becomes essential. Lastly, the key to naturally attracting women lies in your ability to control your own desires. The men who succeed in attracting women aren't the ones who act desperate or needy. They are the ones who can control their own desires without relying on external validation. It's about having inner strength and self-respect. Women are drawn to men who are emotionally and sexually confident, who know how to manage their desires without forcing them onto others. When you can control your own impulses and act with purpose, that's when the real attraction happens. In addition to the internal work you need to do, external factors such as how you carry yourself also matter. Your appearance, your style, and the way you present yourself in the world send out powerful signals. Women can sense confidence just by how you dress and present yourself. You don't have to be overly flashy or expensive. The key is looking put together, comfortable in your skin, and confident in your choices. Simple, sharp, and well-maintained. These things naturally attract attention and respect. A huge part of attraction is also how you handle situations. If you're the type of man who constantly reacts to life's challenges with frustration or anger, you won't generate attraction. Women are attracted to men who are steady in their presence. They want to feel safe and comfortable around a man who isn't rattled by external circumstances. When you're calm and collected, no matter what life throws at you, that's when you naturally attract women without begging for affection. Another principle to remember is the concept of emotional independence. This is one of the biggest differences between men who succeed with women and those who struggle. When you need a woman to make you feel good about yourself, you instantly lose respect. Emotional dependency is unattractive. Women are attracted to men who don't need them for validation. When you develop emotional self-sufficiency, women are drawn to your confidence and inner strength. A lot of men fall into the trap of thinking that being overly nice will lead to affection. But women don't fall for the nice guy who never challenges them, never stands up for what he wants, and doesn't express his desires clearly. Nice guys may get sympathy, but they don't generate sexual attraction. Women are attracted to men who take charge of situations, who challenge them in a healthy way, and who lead with strength. This is a major shift in mindset. Remember, women feel attraction for men who are emotionally self-sufficient. If you're constantly seeking validation or attention, you'll make her feel like you're more dependent on her than she is on you. This makes her feel like she's the one in charge of the relationship, and that dynamic isn't sexy. Women desire men who are independent, both emotionally and socially. When you stop seeking approval and lead your own life, that's when attraction naturally flows towards you. Attraction is also about personal boundaries. Men who have strong boundaries, who know how to say no and stand their ground, command respect. It's incredibly attractive to women when a man knows who he is, what he stands for, and isn't afraid to speak his truth. Having boundaries means not allowing others to take advantage of you. not compromising your values for someone else's approval, and not apologizing for wanting what you want. Nonverbal communication plays a huge role in attraction. Women can tell a lot about a man's confidence and desire based on his body language, posture, and eye contact. If you're constantly slouching, avoiding eye contact, or fidgeting with your hands, you'll come across as insecure. On the other hand, when you stand tall, maintain strong eye contact, and move with intention, you project confidence, and that alone will naturally attract women. It's important to realize that there is no perfect moment for intimacy. Women don't sit around waiting for the perfect moment. They decide if they're attracted to you within the first few minutes of meeting you. If you fail to lead or show clarity, it's easy for them to lose interest. It's not about waiting around for a magical moment to happen. It's about taking action in the moment and being clear in your intentions. To take it further, your energy is what attracts women the most. It's not about trying too hard or pretending to be something you're not. Women are attracted to men who are comfortable in their own skin, who project their desires and intentions without fear of rejection. Your energy speaks louder than your words. So, stop begging for affection or being overly apologetic about your desires. Start owning your energy and watch how women start responding to it. One of the most powerful things you can do to stop begging for affection is to stop being so available. When a woman feels like you're always there for her and always willing to please her, she loses respect. To build desire, you must create some mystery and distance. This doesn't mean playing games, but it's important to have your own life and let her wonder what you're up to when you're not around. Keep her intrigued by maintaining a healthy balance between closeness and independence. Patience is another virtue that attracts women, but it's the right kind of patience. It's about having the patience to let the attraction build over time, not rushing to get her affection. Women appreciate men who don't push them for intimacy, but instead allow the connection to grow naturally. When you stop rushing the process, she'll begin to feel a real connection with you. Another thing to keep in mind is not over-explaining yourself. Often, men feel the need to justify their actions or intentions with women, which only makes them seem insecure. A confident man doesn't feel the need to explain or justify his desires. He expresses them clearly, without hesitation, and allows her to make her own choice. This creates respect and draws her in. When you stop over-explaining yourself, you stand firm in your masculinity, and that alone will make her more attracted to you. Also, self-improvement never stops. If you want to attract women naturally, you need to always be working on yourself. Whether it's fitness, skills, or emotional intelligence, women are naturally drawn to men who are constantly growing and improving. The more you focus on your personal growth, the more attractive you become. Women want a man who is always striving to be better, not just for them, but for himself. One critical aspect of attraction is that women want to feel desired, but it's not about being desperate or clingy. It's about giving her space to feel your desire without begging for it. Women enjoy the challenge of being pursued, but they also want to feel like their desires matter. A man who can make her feel desired without chasing her down is incredibly attractive. The idea of creating tension is key in building attraction. Sexual tension doesn't always need to be verbal. It's often nonverbal. The way you hold your gaze, how you move around her, and the pauses in conversation all contribute to this. The key is not to act on every desire immediately, but to create an environment where she can feel the tension and wonder about what might happen next. Another important factor is building trust through consistency. Women are more likely to be attracted to a man who is dependable, who doesn't flip-flop in his behavior or mood. Being consistent in your actions and words creates a safe environment where attraction can grow. Women want a man who is steady, reliable, and emotionally stable, not someone who is constantly unpredictable. Avoid being overly available. When you are always ready to drop everything for her, you send the message that you don't have a life of your own. Women find that unattractive because it signals that you are dependent on them for validation. When you focus on building your own life and having a sense of purpose outside of her, it makes you much more attractive. A balanced emotional approach is key. While it's important to stay emotionally steady, it's also important to show passion and desire when appropriate. Women are attracted to men who can balance their emotions effectively, who don't become overwhelmed by feelings of neediness or frustration. When you show that you can handle your emotions in a healthy way, you become much more attractive. Finally, stop overthinking every interaction. Trying too hard to read into every small gesture or word only creates anxiety and self-doubt. Women are drawn to men who are present and confident in their own skin. Stop trying to figure out every little thing and simply focus on connecting with her in the moment. Let things flow naturally without overanalyzing. In conclusion, attracting women isn't about begging for affection, playing games, or constantly seeking validation. It's about becoming the man who is strong, independent, emotionally stable, and confident in his own desires. When you stop chasing and start embodying your own worth, women will naturally be drawn to you. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, lead with your presence, and let attraction flow naturally. Paragraph 41. When it comes to attraction, one of the most powerful things you can do is build your emotional independence. Women are attracted to men who have their own lives, who are not overly dependent on them for emotional validation. When you need a woman to make you feel whole, you project insecurity, and that will always repel attraction. Instead, focus on creating your own emotional balance and stability. Women will be drawn to your independence, and in turn, they'll desire to be with you because you don't need them. You want them. Assertiveness is another vital trait that you need to develop if you want to attract women. Too often, men sit back and wait for the woman to make the first move. This passive behavior lacks direction and confidence. Women are drawn to men who take control, who express their desires, and act on them with clarity. If you never take initiative, she may begin to see you as a friend or someone she can walk all over. But when you assert your intentions, you show that you're confident, clear, and in control of your own life, and that's incredibly attractive. Being mysterious can also play a huge role in creating attraction. Women are not drawn to men who are completely predictable. The key is to give just enough of yourself for her to be intrigued, but leave some things to her imagination. If you tell her everything about yourself right away, there's nothing left to wonder about. But if you allow her to discover you slowly, to peel back layers of your personality, she'll become more curious and more attracted to you. Mystery is an essential part of attraction. Self-control is one of the most attractive qualities a man can possess. Women are drawn to men who are able to control their impulses and desires. This doesn't mean repressing your emotions, but rather learning how to manage them effectively. Men who can stay composed in high-pressure situations, who are calm and steady even when things are difficult, instantly attract women. When you control your emotions, you demonstrate strength, maturity, and confidence, all of which are incredibly magnetic. One of the most important aspects of attraction is trustworthiness. Women are attracted to men who are reliable, consistent, and who follow through on their promises. If you're inconsistent, unreliable, or flaky, she'll start to doubt your ability to meet her needs and expectations. Trust is foundational in any relationship, and if you want to attract women, you need to build that trust. Show her that you are a man of your word, someone who will always have her back, and you'll create a strong, lasting bond. Your life purpose is another critical factor when it comes to attracting women. Women are naturally drawn to men who have a mission, a sense of purpose, and who are working towards something greater than themselves. If your life is aimless, or if you're constantly seeking validation, women won't be able to respect you or feel any real attraction. However, when you have clear goals and are actively working toward them, women see that you are driven, independent, and focused, and that's highly attractive. Emotional resilience is a key element in building lasting attraction. Women don't want to be with men who are easily shaken by setbacks or who crumble under pressure. When you remain steady and composed, even when faced with challenges, it shows that you are strong and capable of handling life's ups and downs. This resilience makes you more attractive because it shows that you are not only emotionally strong, but you are also someone who can offer stability in a relationship. Confidence in your sexuality is another important factor in attracting women. Women are drawn to men who are comfortable with their desires and confident in expressing them. When you're comfortable with your sexuality, you naturally create an environment of attraction without having to force anything. It's important to understand that attraction is about presence, not pressure. Being confident in your own sexual energy and desires without overexposing them or demanding them from her makes you more desirable. Patience is an underrated virtue when it comes to attraction. Many men rush into things trying to escalate the relationship or intimacy too quickly. This often comes across as desperate. Instead, women appreciate men who have the patience to let things evolve naturally. By not rushing the process and allowing her to become comfortable with you in her own time, you create a deeper and more meaningful connection. Patience is a sign of emotional maturity, and it lets her know that you're in no hurry and value the relationship at a deeper level. Finally, the most important principle for attracting women is being true to yourself. Authenticity is one of the most powerful qualities you can embody. Women are drawn to men who are not afraid to be themselves, who don't feel the need to put on a mask or act like someone they're not. When you embrace your true self and stop pretending to be someone else in order to gain affection or validation, you naturally become magnetic. Women are attracted to men who are comfortable in their own skin, who are unapologetic about who they are, and who don't need to seek approval from others. Another key aspect of attraction is self-respect. Women are drawn to men who respect themselves and know their worth. If you constantly lower your standards or sacrifice your values to gain affection, women will sense this lack of self-respect. Respect comes from within, and women are naturally attracted to men who don't tolerate disrespect, who uphold their boundaries, and who never compromise on their principles. When you hold yourself to high standards, women will respect you and want to be around you, not because you asked for it, but because you earned it. Challenge her, but with respect. Women are not attracted to men who simply agree with everything they say or do. Women want someone who challenges them intellectually, someone who can stimulate their mind. This doesn't mean arguing or being confrontational, but rather engaging with her in meaningful conversations, expressing your opinions clearly, and showing that you're not afraid to voice your thoughts. A man who doesn't challenge her is forgettable, but a man who does is someone who sparks her interest and curiosity. Being a man of action is vital for attracting women. Women are attracted to men who take initiative, who make decisions, and who act decisively. Being passive or waiting around for her to take the lead will only make you appear weak and uninteresting. Women want a man who takes the lead in all aspects of life, whether it's in a relationship, in his career, or in his personal life. Stop waiting for permission and start taking control. It's not about being aggressive. It's about showing that you are capable and confident enough to make decisions. One key factor in attraction that men often overlook is creating emotional tension. Women are attracted to men who can build up a certain level of tension, whether it's through teasing, anticipation, or subtle hints. If everything is too easy or straightforward, the attraction fades quickly. Emotional tension is about creating a feeling of mystery and excitement, where the woman feels that there's more to uncover. This tension should never feel forced. It should flow naturally from your actions, your presence, and your ability to remain calm and unreactive. Humor is an incredibly attractive trait in a man. Women love to laugh, and being able to make a woman laugh is one of the best ways to build rapport and connection. But it's not about telling jokes or trying to be a comedian. It's about having a sense of humor that is playful, confident, and grounded. Humor breaks the ice, eases tension, and creates a bond between you and her. Men who can laugh at themselves and don't take life too seriously tend to be more relaxed, confident, and attractive to women. Being purpose-driven is essential to naturally attracting women. Women are attracted to men who have a clear vision of where they are going in life. A man with purpose has direction, passion, and a reason for doing what he does. This kind of energy is magnetic because it shows that you are focused, ambitious, and self-sufficient. Women are naturally drawn to men who are working toward something meaningful, who are not easily distracted, and who have a sense of fulfillment and drive. Another essential element of attraction is respecting her boundaries. While men often think that being aggressive or pushy will get them what they want, women appreciate men who can respect their space and boundaries. This shows maturity and understanding of the delicate balance in relationships. When a man respects a woman's personal space and doesn't push her to act before she's ready, he creates a sense of security and trust that naturally builds attraction. Respect for her boundaries is key to gaining her affection. Being emotionally available is another critical factor in building a genuine connection with women. Contrary to popular belief, women don't want men who are emotionally unavailable or distant. They want men who can open up emotionally and connect on a deeper level. However, there's a balance here. It's not about oversharing or being overly vulnerable, but rather showing that you are emotionally intelligent and capable of expressing your feelings in a healthy, mature way. Emotional availability is a cornerstone of attraction because it allows for intimacy and connection to flourish. The concept of self-reliance cannot be overstated. Women are attracted to men who are self-reliant, both emotionally and financially. When you depend on someone else for validation, approval, or emotional stability, it becomes a burden on the relationship. Women appreciate men who have their own lives, their own passions, and their own goals. When you don't need her to complete you, you become more attractive. A self-reliant man doesn't require anyone's approval because he is already secure in who he is. Lastly, being grounded in your masculine energy is the foundation for all attraction. Masculine energy is not about dominating or controlling. It's about being present, assertive, and emotionally stable. Women are naturally drawn to men who have a strong sense of self, who don't let life's challenges shake them, and who can stand firm in their beliefs and desires. Being grounded in your masculinity means knowing who you are, what you want, and not needing anyone else to validate it. This energy is magnetic, and women can't help but be drawn to it. Another critical aspect of attraction is learning how to lead without dominating. Women are drawn to men who can take charge of a situation without being overly controlling. Leadership is not about barking orders or pushing people around. It's about providing guidance, making decisions, and creating a sense of certainty and direction. When you are calm, clear-headed, and able to navigate challenges with confidence, you naturally become someone women look to for stability and support. This kind of leadership builds respect and desire. An essential part of self-improvement is constantly developing a deeper sense of purpose. When you focus on your own goals, career, and personal growth, you naturally become more attractive to women. Women are drawn to men who have a sense of direction, who are passionate about something beyond the relationship, and who are working towards something greater. If you're constantly improving yourself, whether mentally, physically, or emotionally, women will respect you more and attraction will follow naturally. Being emotionally stable is a vital aspect of attraction. Women are attracted to men who can keep their emotions in check, especially in stressful situations. If you are constantly anxious, angry, or upset, it becomes exhausting for the woman in your life. She doesn't want to be with someone who drains her energy with constant emotional instability. When you are emotionally grounded, women feel safe around you, and that safety fosters attraction. Women are naturally drawn to men who are in control of their emotions and can handle whatever life throws their way. Another important concept is the importance of spontaneity. Predictability can be boring, and it can kill the excitement in a relationship. Women are drawn to men who can keep things interesting, who introduce new experiences and adventures into the relationship. Spontaneity doesn't mean being reckless. It means being able to switch things up, surprise her with new ideas, and break away from the routine. When you can create these moments of fun and unpredictability, you generate excitement and desire that builds a stronger attraction. Embodying strength through vulnerability is another powerful principle. Women respect men who are open about their emotions, their struggles, and their past experiences, but they want that vulnerability to be paired with strength. The key is to show that you are comfortable with your emotions, but also resilient in the face of adversity. When you balance strength and vulnerability, you present a well-rounded, emotionally mature man who can handle both his inner world and the world around him. This combination of traits is incredibly magnetic. Avoiding desperation is essential for attraction. Desperation signals weakness, and when you act from a place of desperation, you project neediness and insecurity. Women can sense this a mile away. Instead, focus on acting from a place of abundance. Don't be afraid to walk away from a situation if it doesn't feel right or if the attraction isn't mutual. When you stop chasing and start letting things come to you, women are naturally attracted to your calm, collected demeanor. It's important to recognize that you don't need anyone to validate your worth. Another key point is developing your sense of humor. Humor is one of the most attractive traits you can have. Women love a man who can make them laugh, who doesn't take life too seriously. Humor fosters connection and breaks down barriers. It shows that you don't need to be perfect or rigid, and that you can enjoy life's moments without anxiety or stress. Humor allows you to connect on a deeper level and creates a fun, light-hearted atmosphere that naturally draws women in. Understanding the value of silence is crucial for attracting women. Too often, men think that talking constantly or trying to fill every moment with conversation will keep women interested. But the truth is, silence can be incredibly powerful. Being comfortable with silence shows confidence and emotional control. When you sit in silence with a woman, it can create a sense of tension and intimacy that words simply can't. Women appreciate a man who knows when to speak and when to just be present with them in the moment. Creating emotional depth is another factor in attraction. Women are often drawn to men who have substance, who are deep thinkers, who can hold meaningful conversations, and who have an emotional range. Men who live on the surface, who don't dig deep into their emotions or thoughts, tend to be less attractive. Women want to feel a genuine connection, and the only way to create that is by being emotionally present and deep. So, take the time to develop your emotional intelligence and connect with her on a deeper, more authentic level. Finally, embrace your masculinity. The core of attraction is rooted in a woman's desire for strong masculine energy. But this doesn't mean being aggressive or domineering. Masculine energy is about strength, stability, and confidence. Women are attracted to men who can lead with their presence and who are not afraid to be themselves. When you embrace your natural masculinity and live authentically, you become magnetic. Women are naturally drawn to men who are comfortable with their masculinity and who don't feel the need to apologize for it. One essential element to keep in mind is physical fitness. While attraction is largely psychological, the physical aspect cannot be ignored. Women are naturally drawn to men who take care of their bodies. This doesn't mean you have to have a chiseled physique, but showing that you value health and fitness sends a powerful message. A man who takes care of himself and stays physically fit exudes self-discipline and respect for himself, which are incredibly attractive traits. Women admire men who value their health and prioritize their well-being. Another important aspect is avoiding emotional dependency. Men who constantly seek validation or affection from women are often seen as weak and needy. Emotional dependency makes a man unattractive because it creates an imbalance in the relationship. Women are drawn to men who are emotionally independent, who are capable of feeling whole without relying on someone else for emotional fulfillment. Emotional strength comes from within, and when you learn to manage your emotions and maintain your inner peace, women will be drawn to your emotional stability. Authenticity is another powerful factor when it comes to attracting women. Women are not attracted to men who are constantly pretending to be someone they're not. They want a man who is comfortable with who he is, who embraces his true self without hiding behind a mask. The key to genuine attraction is being authentic and unapologetically yourself. When you stop trying to please others and embrace your true identity, you naturally attract people, especially women, who are aligned with your values and energy. Creating and maintaining mystery is one of the most attractive things you can do. Women don't want to feel like they know everything about you from the start. Mystery creates intrigue and keeps a woman wanting more. When you hold back some of your personal details, keep certain things to yourself, and remain a little unpredictable, you spark curiosity. Women love the challenge of trying to figure out a man, and this mystery is one of the most powerful ways to keep her engaged and drawn to you. A big part of attracting women naturally is having a sense of humor. Women love men who can make them laugh, but it's important to understand that humor is a way to break tension and create emotional connection. A good sense of humor is an extension of confidence. It shows that you are comfortable with yourself and can navigate through awkward situations with ease. Humor also keeps things light and fun, which is essential in building attraction. But remember, humor should never be forced. Just be yourself and let it come naturally. Being a man of purpose is undeniably attractive. Women are drawn to men who have a sense of direction, who are passionate about something in life, and who are actively pursuing their goals. A man with purpose brings excitement, energy, and clarity to his life, and women find this incredibly attractive. It shows that you are living a life that is rich with meaning and that you are constantly evolving. Women don't want a man who is aimless or drifting through life. They want someone who is motivated and driven by his own purpose. One overlooked element in attraction is being able to accept rejection with grace. Too many men become devastated or frustrated when faced with rejection, and this emotional response can actually repel women. When you learn to accept rejection without it affecting your sense of self-worth, you demonstrate maturity and emotional resilience. Women find this trait highly attractive because it shows that you are self-confident and emotionally stable. A man who doesn't take rejection personally and continues to move forward with purpose is far more attractive than one who crumbles under pressure. Another powerful factor is the ability to listen and understand. Women appreciate men who take the time to really listen to what they have to say, who understand their emotions and respond empathetically. This shows that you care about her thoughts and feelings, and that you are not just thinking about yourself. When you listen intently and engage in meaningful conversations, you create a strong emotional connection, which is a huge part of building attraction. Women value emotional intelligence, and the ability to understand them is an incredibly attractive trait. Confidence in your decisions is one of the most attractive qualities you can develop. Women want a man who knows what he wants and doesn't hesitate to make decisions. Indecision can be frustrating, and constantly second-guessing yourself will not only turn her off, but will also create unnecessary stress in the relationship. A man who is confident in his decisions, whether big or small, is seen as strong and dependable. Women respect men who lead with conviction and confidence, and they naturally gravitate toward them. Finally, maintaining your independence is essential for attracting women. Women are not looking for a man who relies on them for everything, emotionally, financially, or mentally. While relationships are about connection and support, women are attracted to men who are self-sufficient, who have their own passions, hobbies, and goals. When you maintain your independence, you keep the balance in the relationship and avoid the trap of neediness. Women respect a man who can stand on his own, and this respect translates into attraction. Stop seeking validation. One of the biggest mistakes men make is seeking constant validation from others, especially women. This neediness comes across as insecurity, and women can sense it instantly. If you're constantly trying to prove your worth to a woman, you're essentially telling her that you don't believe in yourself. Instead, become a man who values his own worth and doesn't need constant approval from others. Women find men who are secure in themselves irresistible because they're not trying to impress, they're simply being themselves. The importance of presence cannot be overstated. Women are drawn to men who are present in the moment, who don't distract themselves with their phones or other people. When you're with a woman, give her your undivided attention. It's not about being perfect, but about being emotionally available and engaged. When you can be fully present with her, she feels valued and important, and that connection is what triggers real attraction. Presence is one of the most underrated yet powerful tools in building genuine desire. Being comfortable in your own skin is one of the greatest ways to attract women. A man who is at peace with himself, who doesn't need to put on a front, is naturally magnetic. Women are not interested in men who feel the need to impress them or be someone they're not. They're attracted to authenticity and self-assurance. When you embrace who you are, flaws and all, you invite women to appreciate the real you. This creates a deeper and more meaningful connection that is based on genuine attraction. Men who are emotionally unavailable may seem appealing at first, but this ultimately leads to frustration for both parties. The key is to be emotionally available, but not overly needy. Women want to feel like they can connect with you emotionally, but they also don't want a man who will overwhelm them with his emotional dependence. Being emotionally available means you're willing to open up and share, but also that you can stand strong and not be swept away by every emotion. This creates a balanced dynamic where attraction can thrive. Stop over-explaining yourself. Women are attracted to men who don't feel the need to explain themselves at every turn. If you're constantly justifying your actions or words, it shows insecurity and lack of self-confidence. Instead, trust in your decisions and trust in your actions. Women will respect you more when you act with certainty and don't feel the need to over-explain. Confidence in your decisions speaks volumes about your character and emotional maturity. See and direction is extremely attractive to women. Women are drawn to men who have clear goals, who know where they're going in life. A man who is directionless or lacks purpose may seem less attractive because he isn't actively working towards something. Having a sense of purpose shows that you are self-motivated, driven, and ambitious. These qualities create a sense of stability and attraction because women respect men who are confident in their path and have the determination to succeed. The art of teasing is a powerful tool when it comes to attraction. Playful teasing creates a sense of tension, which is one of the most attractive things you can build with a woman. However, the key is to make sure it's playful and lighthearted, not mean-spirited or hurtful. Teasing shows confidence and control over the interaction, and it also demonstrates that you're comfortable with her and the relationship. When done correctly, teasing builds excitement and keeps the interaction lively. Unwavering self-confidence is the cornerstone of attraction. When you walk into a room with confidence without second-guessing yourself, people, especially women, take notice. Confidence is magnetic because it exudes a sense of power and capability. Women want to be with men who believe in themselves, who don't doubt their worth or abilities. This doesn't mean being arrogant or boastful, but it does mean knowing that you are worthy of respect and affection, and that belief will naturally draw women to you. Being proactive, not reactive, is a principle that will drastically increase your attractiveness. Men who react to every situation, every glance, and every message from a woman come across as needy and insecure. Women are attracted to men who take initiative, who lead with clear intentions, and who don't wait around for her to make the first move. Proactive men show strength, decisiveness, and confidence. They don't sit around wondering what will happen next. They make things happen, and that action naturally attracts women.